So the same way with sex, if you don't have the language, then you wouldn't know. You go to the nearest expression that you know about it. So for a baby, they cry.
Yeah.
For most of us, we choose silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or criticize
Or
whoever
criticize.
is talking
Yes,
about
yes,
it.
yes.
Because you're not bold enough to talk about it.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day.
And it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, beautiful place.
Yeah. And it's finally here.
This is the much you can do with your time and your life. So who is to tell me I can't dance in my boxers because I'm a man? Who are you to tell me that I can't dance? I have my own ass to shake. If God didn't want me to have an ass, they would not have given me an ass to shake. What is an ass for?
Hey, I love this. I love this. So you're the black sheep.
And the firstborn. How many firstborn black sheep have you met in your life?
I'm the black sheep in my family.
And you are?
I'm not the firstborn.
Yeah, many black sheep are never the firstborn. Me, I'm the firstborn. I terrorize those people. They don't even. I don't think my parents were ready for a child like me. They didn't see it coming. Na nimewasumbua. But even if I will be homeless, I have peace of mind.
Exactly.
That is bigger than everything.
That is the true freedom.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Welcome to this channel. I'm so excited. When you here, my name is Jacqueline Wema. I'm a nutrition coach, an online nutrition coach. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, right? And you click that notification bell to be notified every time I'm uploading a new video. And today I have a guest. I'm so excited. I cannot even hide it. So I'm allowing him to introduce himself. Yes. So welcome.
My name is Onyango Otieno. Some people call me Rex. I'm a storyteller. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm also a sexual and reproductive health and rights activist. Most of my work is centered around challenging the harmful narratives of heteromasculinity. So it's just basically involving and engaging men in conversations around health, identity, and I guess sex as well.
Yeah, we cannot talk about Rix without mentioning sex, right?
Yeah, I love sex. I love talking about sex.
Yeah.
Sex is a good thing.
And I don't know why people feel itch or cringe when we talk about sex. What do you think?
Because you've been taught to fear it, and then they told you that it's only secluded for marriage. You know?
Yeah.
But they also don't tell you that a lot of people in marriage don't enjoy sex.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know much about each other's bodies when they got into that matrimonial bed. Nobody taught them anything about sex.
Yeah.
It's taken that just because you're a human being, then it's automatic that you know what sex is when the time comes. But it doesn't happen like that.
It doesn't happen.
Because even walking, you are trained how to walk. You are trained how to talk. You are trained how to eat. You are trained how to read. So you have to be trained how to fuck.
I was not ready for this. PG, parental guidance is recommended.
You have to be trained. It doesn't just happen, man. Even driving, even writing, everything was a training.
But I come to think of it, I've never thought of it that way.
Everything you're trained to do, like it doesn't just happen.
And they assume we're supposed to know everything about sex.
So you meet some guy who wants to be your husband, and then they want you to be like the women they see on porn.
And you don't know anything about sex.
You have no idea.
Yes.
So if all you're learning about it is from porn, like for both men and women and queer people really, and you're not educated, you know, like in Ugandan societies, even some parts of Central Africa, like this is East Africa, like Rwanda and Burundi. There is something called kachabali. Kachabali is from Uganda. The name in Rwanda is called kunyaza.
I know kunyaza.
You heard of that?
I've heard of kunyaza.
So kunyaza is the same with kachabali in Uganda, where they teach like how a man can please or pleasure the woman by putting their tip on the woman's vagina so that either she can squirt or orgasm. those are things that are there. They've been there for a long time in our communities, but then they were taken away again by colonial constructs.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love reclaiming that. I like people to know that, by the way, as an African, we loved sex. We used sex for so many things outside procreation.
Yes.
There was for rituals, there was just for pleasure, there was for discovery, for exploration.
Yeah.
You don't just have sex to give birth to kids. That is very capitalist, and it takes away from the whole humanity and the power we have as human beings.
It's sad.
Very sad.
It's so sad.
Yes.
And that's why I was so comfortable talking about sex with you.
Yeah.
Because perception is not fixated, it's not rigid. You're so open, you can talk about it openly without, you don't care about. How has it been for you, by the way? I can imagine.
For most parts, I don't care what people say, really, but you know, part of my background is my parents were teachers, actually. And for me, knowledge and information is something that I'm drawn to because I want to expand or share what I know with the world, with my surrounding, with my culture, my environment.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things I inherited from my parents, like seeing that teaching informed people, made them be better, and all that. And I want my society to be better. I want my culture to be better.
Yeah.
So it's just that amongst the many things I could have chosen, I felt more drawn to reproductive health.
Yeah.
And I mean, sex is among that. And of course, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because they fear this subject a lot.
Yes.
They've been made to fear this subject a lot until they took up that identity of fear.
Yeah.
They also don't have the language to talk about it. So when you don't have a language to speak about something, you wouldn't know. It's like a child. Let's say you're a baby, and so babies cry for different things in different sounds, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you're frustrated, there is a cry.
Yes.
You don't know how to, the words, you don't know how to put it in words that, oh, I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're hungry, but you don't know how to put it, so it comes out again as a cry.
Yes.
Sometimes you're burning because you've peed on yourself.
Yes. Yes.
But you don't know how to communicate it, so it comes out as a cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't like somebody's energy. Mtu amekubeba upendi energy yake. You let out a cry.
Yeah.
But if you had the words, you'd say, Mom, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Or Mom, I've peed on myself.
Yes.
Or Mom, I don't like this guy and how they're holding me.
Yes.
So the same way with sex, if you don't have the language, then you wouldn't know. You go to the nearest expression that you know about it. So for a baby, they cry.
Yeah.
For most of us, we choose silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or criticize
Or
whoever
criticize.
is talking about it.
Yes.
Because you're not bold enough to talk about it.
Yeah. And a lot of that indoctrination is from religion. I'm never afraid to say that because in our cultures, like the Gikuyu, for example, they had this system where when you are a teenager, like there was a time like boys and girls would be put in a place where they would touch each other. Yeah, just touching, no sex, nothing, just touching each other as teenagers, just to getting to understand the anatomy of a body and the sexual places. So even just knowing that for me is very powerful because your average Kenyan has no idea about that.
Yeah, I do not have any idea. For real, I don't.
And they don't know about those sexual practices that were there in their communities before colonialism and Christianity or Islam came here. They have no idea about that. So for me, I'm just like, we have to reclaim that because that is our original order and that's who we are, expressive sexually as human beings. And that also would inform our knowledge or how we go about other forms of reproductive health because it's not just sex. There's a lot to talk about that.
Wow. Wow. How do men take breaks?
How do men take some of them hate me.
That is one of the questions I really wanted to ask you.
It's very interesting. There are people who, like, if you like me, you really like me. And if you don't like me, you really don't like me. And there are people who are sort of a bit confused about me because if you meet me in person, I'm not threat to you. I'm very relaxed, you know. I mean, you'll see me dancing in my boxers on Instagram, but like I don't walk naked everywhere. exactly. And you know, because how I how I express myself, there's so many men who they've been taught that can't be a man.
Exactly.
Yeah, a man cannot be like that. So who are you to decide that's where you're going, and yet you claim to be amongst us?
Yeah.
So they stone you, they abuse you, people send me death threats, like all sorts of things, because they purport that I'm gay and I've never asked sex from them and everything. And what I find fascinating, Jacqueline, is
Yes.
there's so many guys who like they throw all these bad comments at me.
Yes.
But in the DMs, they want me for sex. They even want me to take. They want to take me to Diani and pay me and fuck me and do whatnot. So usually I'm just watching. I'm just observing.
That is them projecting.
Yeah.
They really yearn to be like you, but
Yes, of course.
they're not bold enough to be or
Yeah.
to do things you do.
Yeah. So I mean, and there are men who also reach out and they're like, "Yo, you know, I saw you talking about something. I've
Yeah.
never been able to talk about this anywhere." And this
Yeah.
includes even the sexual abuse, like, because men get raped as well.
Yeah.
And these are things I talk about, and they are like, "Yo, this happened to me, and I've never been able to share anywhere." And it's not just Kenyan men; it's like globally. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about these things, we think it's an African men's problem.
Yes.
That men are not expressive. They are very controlling. They're tight.
Yeah.
It's a global issue that they
Yeah.
can't express themselves. That men don't have good friendships with each other.
Yes.
It's a global issue. It's not just in Africa. So my work is centered around that. Like, I want men to see there is so much more to life than putting yourself in a box that you found yourself in just
Yeah.
because your culture told you, "Oh, this is how to be a man."
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Me, I don't pay attention to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted this perspective
Yeah.
to my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sex and reproductive health in women. You talk much about women. You're like an advocate for women. Sindio?
Yes, I mean, I can say that. Mostly
There's a-
for equality, but then
Yeah.
because women are really oppressed in our culture
Yeah.
in so many ways, especially starting from their bodies.
Yes.
And it's because also the oppression of women is connected to my oppression. You see?
Yeah.
And I care about all that stuff.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said the oppression, the women are oppressed, but their oppression is coming from their men's.
It's connected to my oppression.
Yes.
Yeah. You want me to elaborate? on that?
Elaborate that.
So
Yeah.
I grew up in a very violent home.
Yes.
My father came from a polygamous home. There were many people there. My grandpa had like 30 kids. Yes, the man had sexes.
You're from Luo.
I mean, I'm a
community.
Luo, yeah.
Oh, you're a Luo.
And-
Pure.
Yeah, pure to the core.
Oh, okay.
Yes, many times it doesn't look like it, but I'm Luo. Like Onyango, Otieno is as far as it gets. Like,
Exactly. I was like, do you even have a first name?
I do, I just don't like it, and that's my own way of rebelling.
Your first name is?
My English name
Yes.
is not my first name, it's my English name. And I'm not English. And I'm usually just fighting that, because why do I have an English name and I'm not an English person?
We
Why?
don't know.
Because of colonialism. That's why.
Exactly.
Eric it is. And that's where Rick comes from.
Rick
is from Eric.
Eric.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Eriko, Ero, all those variations.
Yeah.
Are there. But I chose to use Onyango Otieno as a way again of reclaiming my Africanness and my roots.
Yes.
So I witnessed so much violence growing up, and the men, like my uncles, my dad, they were very violent to women around them and their children as well. So
Yes.
even me, there was too much beating. That
Yeah.
was very dehumanizing in
Yeah.
the name of discipline.
Yes.
And that had nothing to do with discipline. It had everything to do with anger
Yeah.
and control
Yeah.
and abuse.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But then, as I grew up, I started noticing that the violence women were facing was not just in my home. It was in the neighborhood.
Yes.
It was on TV.
Yeah.
It was on the street. And I was like, you guys want to tell me when I grow up to become an adult male, I'm also supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't think even this idea that is you are the neck, I'm the head, it does not make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Because when we were born, I just happened to have XY, these chromosomes that define this is a man, this is a woman, and whatever that lies in between.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with somebody is above the other and the other one is below the other. It has nothing to do with it. I just got here. I know nothing about the world. I know nothing about Earth.
Yeah.
What makes me think I can be above you, and what makes you think actually I'm supposed to be above you? What makes me think it's only a matter of education?
Yeah.
Somebody decided this is how things are gonna be.
Yeah.
But really, we are just different. That's all.
Hey, that's
A butterfly.
mind-blowing.
How is a butterfly does not think it is any bigger than a bird. A bird does not think it is any bigger than a cow. They're just existing in their differences. That's all. So humans are no different. We developed the classes, we developed the gender roles, we developed racism, we developed what in India is called the caste system, where people are, divided into classes because of where you're coming from, your tribe, and all that bullshit. It's a waste of time. Gender conflicts are a waste of time. It's a waste of time. So, and because of seeing that, because I grew up, I was a very inquisitive child, and I'm very observant. Because again, I'm quiet. I can be talkative, but then usually I'm just quiet. I'm calm. I'm lost in my own world. And I'm observing people. Even here, when I got here, I'm just looking at, what are people doing?
Yes.
How is that person holding their phone? What are they drinking? The next person, that kind. Hey, the cap is pink. The shoes are pink as well. They are matching with the. That's just what I see. I see things. Mindfulness.
Yeah.
And so realizing these patterns made me question a lot, because I myself didn't like being beaten.
Yeah.
A woman definitely would not like being beaten.
Exactly.
No man on this earth loves being beaten. So why are we taking up that identity of beating people?
Especially women.
Especially women and children. Make it make sense. And then, now as I'm growing and I'm questioning the world, I'm seeing that politics is connected to this violence.
Yeah.
Right? And many people governing politics are men.
Yeah.
They want to take up the space about power and control and all that.
Yeah.
They developed systems that structured how women and other men and people like queer people are going to exist on this earth.
Yes.
That in itself is robbing people of their lives.
Exactly.
Because you have no jurisdiction to decide how Jacqueline Wema is going to live her life. You just got here.
Yeah.
You don't know shit, man. You come here, live your life, go, die, then go where your spirit will go.
Imagine.
You have no business trying to tell Jacqueline, you have to worship me, you have to bow down to me, you must cook for me because I'm your husband. Oh, bullshit.
I'm
The head for what?
Neck.
For what? And the tukifa sisi wote tunazikwa on this earth. Then now where does that head go after you die? Where is it going? And likewise, because women have also embodied that, because it's been their identity also for the longest time.
Yeah.
To think that a man is supposed to rescue me, a man is going to save me, a man is going to provide for me, a man is going to do all these things for me. Those are this different sides of the same coin. So while you're starting to believe that a man is supposed to provide for you, I'm believing that because I'm providing for you, then I have control over your life.
Yeah, and I can do whatever it is that I want.
To you, exactly. So naweza kukunyima do, uko na mtoto, tuko na mtoto, and I'm doing the things I want to do just because I'm the one in charge.
Yes, I'm providing for you.
It is crazy. It is just too crazy. I can't take it. So that's why I do this work, because the world as it is, very many men are removed from women's reality. So, for example, in my home, not a single day did I ever know when my mother is on her period. Not a single day. There were no signs. I couldn't tell. See? Mom was just always mom. She was always mom. In fact, it was until one day Because now those years always was the pad that everybody knew, like always pads, like always. And because they were being advertised a lot, so I didn't even know. So the way we say thermos is a flask, and yet thermos is just a brand. Even Omo, the same way, always like that. So we didn't even know there are other brands of pads. We just thought always is the pad. That's all every woman uses. So one day, because I'd seen this thing on TV, I come across it in my mom's things, because I was a very inquisitive child, and it was always very hidden. Like, oh, mom uses these things, and I see like they advertise girls. Okay. I didn't have information about it. So that's how I started. And then one day I also came across these family planning pills. I remember they were pink in color. They looked like peritons. They were pink. And they were like venye Piriton is konga inauzwa kitambo, sijui sahi Piriton inauzwa aje. So that's, I started getting under, so this is a family planning, and then she uses pads, so there has to be something about her body with these things. But nobody explained it to me, And I used to wonder, how come I never realized it when my mother is supposed to be using these things? When does she use these things? Anazitumia saa ngapi? When does it happen? I want to know. But there was no space to ask that question. My mother was like, the way many of our moms, they've had to get so used to pain so much that when they are going through it, you think they're just okay. And that's how men start seeing women, even as younger boys, because we never thought our mothers were in pain. We think, women can just
be okay.
Live through this process, and then you grow up, and then you're dating Jacqueline, and Jacqueline is telling you her periods are too painful, she can't even move. She has to be injected. Yes. You have no idea that she can't come up to work. Now I'm your boss, right? I expect you to show up at work.
I see that.
You're going through your mens. That is the system I'm talking about.
Yes.
If I'm the, if the men are the ones they're the bosses, they're the businessmen who are like employing women and all that stuff. If I don't understand how a woman's cycle looks like, when that time comes, I will still expect you to be 100%.
Exactly.
And you cannot be 100%. Even if you give your best shot, you can't be 100% at that time. So I want men to understand, because I can't claim to love you if I don't understand what you're going through. And that's for all of us. If you don't understand what a man goes through, you can't love them. It's impossible. So this thing we are calling love and romance, all of it is just a mask. It's a facade. Because we are just saying we're in relationships. But we don't understand. I have a friend of mine who, he's been married, say, 7 years, and it is the other day that he realized that his wife has been through sexual abuse, because he never asked. He never cared about those things about women. See? For me, I'm just like, then you don't know your wife. You don't know your wife.
Why am I getting goosebumps?
And these things for me are just supposed to be so basic. They are very basic things. And so because men have been very removed from women's realities, because for most times women are there for men, so many times women are there for men in many ways. We might say that women abandon men, but it's only because of the capitalist world, where now a man's identity is connected to how much money they have. But emotionally, if I really even look at my life, it's women who've always come through. And I think men will be hypocritical if they say women have not been there for them. Outside romance, outside sex, outside money, women show up for you. When even funerals are happening, it's the women who show up. When it's a wedding, it's the women who are doing everything. Fam, giving back to children, nurturing children, that is provision. All of that is provision. So for me, my activism is really about making men see that, first of all, okay, I came to this world, and when those people realized that I have a penis, there was a script I was given that this is how a man is supposed to be. We need to get that out. Because when we get that out, we will remove women from the box we've put them also.
Yeah.
We'll also remove queer people, gay people from the box we've put them.
Yes.
And this is how I approach life. You see where we are right now. We are surrounded by different species of plants, right?
Yeah.
These species, all of them exist in a variation.
Yeah.
All of them, they exist in a variation. Different variations, different names, different whatevers, right?
Yeah.
Now, nature, the way it's designed, it exists in a spectrum. When you go to a forest, there is no one single natural forest where all trees are the same.
Yeah.
Trees in a forest are different.
Yeah.
They look different. Their sizes are different. They have lived different lives,
Different years.
different years,
They grow in a different pace.
different pace.
Yeah.
They have their habitat for different species
Yeah.
because they're maybe like plant, animal, or like insects, for example, that do well maybe in this habitat that they struggle in another habitat.
Yeah.
You know, and human beings are the same. Human beings also exist in spectrums. It's not different.
Yeah.
Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you have two sexual organs, whether you have what, you're just a human being. That's
Yes,
all.
yes.
But we are so insistent on defining and boxing and putting binary ideas. So if you're not a man, you have to be a woman. If you're not a woman, you have to be a man. Animals don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know, you're just a natural being. That's all you are. You found yourself here.
Yeah.
You had no say.
Respected.
No problem. You had no say in whether you're going to be a woman.
Yeah.
You just found yourself a
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
I had no say in who I was gonna become as a man.
Yeah.
But you have a spirit,
Yeah.
right? And that's who you are. You're not your body. You're not Jacqueline Wem. Even Jacqueline Wem is just a name somebody
I was
put on you.
given,
It's
yeah.
not, you had no control over it.
Exactly.
So if tomorrow you can wake up and change the name in your government paper.
Yes.
So that means your name is also fictional. Everything is fictional. It's fictional. Really. It's like a movie, like it's made up. The name Wem, it's made up. Like that's not who you are. You can't name your spirit. It's just a spirit. It's like wind. It's just wind. I mean, it's just there.
It has been rigged.
Everything has been rigged. Everything has been rigged. And you know what? Many people don't like me talking about this because it forces you to confront
Yeah.
things that are very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden when you realize this thing you call a tribe is not the biggest thing on earth. This thing you call a religion is not the biggest thing on earth. This thing you call a name,
Yeah.
like my name is so and so I come from, is not the biggest thing on earth. This thing you call a gender or a sex is not the biggest thing on earth. Like it's just a thing, it's just there.
Look at me.
It's just there. And so we start limiting our own freedom and ecstasy just because we are attached to these things. We are attached to these things because we are told, oh, you are born here, you belong here. This is the farthest you can get in life. This is the much you can do with your time and your life. So who is to tell me I can't dance in my boxers because I'm a man? Who are you to tell me that I can't dance? I have my own ass to shake. If God didn't want me to have an ass, they would not have given me an ass to shake. What is an ass for?
Hey, I love this. I love this. I love
Me, when I
this
discovered these
conversation.
things, I decided I'm going to live my life. My mother does not like it.
Yeah.
My father does not like it. My siblings are okay because
They
I'm a
watch
good
you.
brother.
Your parents watch you.
Yeah, and they are ashamed of it.
They're ashamed of you.
Yeah, they're ashamed. In fact,
They say you're a disgrace.
my mother the other day texted me at you know, these screenshots people send me at look at my child, I'm ashamed, I can't accept this life you're living. In my head I'm just like, as who? Yeah, as who? Yeah, you gave birth to me, but you're not my God.
Yeah.
You don't own me.
Yeah.
You don't own my spirit. You don't own my mind. You gave birth to me. I give you that right. I respect you.
Yeah.
But you don't get to decide how I live my life.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to decide. I decide how I want to live my life.
So you're the black sheep.
And the firstborn. How many firstborn black sheep have you met in your life?
I'm the black sheep in my family.
And you are?
I'm not the first one.
Yeah, many black sheep are never the first ones. Me, I'm the first one. I terrorize those people. They don't even. I don't think my parents were ready for a child like me. They didn't see it coming. Na nimewasumbua by the way. Since I was a kid, me nimewasumbua sana.
But they don't know they contributed at
of
some
course
point.
they do, and they never wanted to admit it
Yeah.
to date. And I'm just like, you people are mad. You're mad, man. So if you don't want to understand me understand you, but then leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about that is I don't have a home to go back to. You know, my parents also have been fighting the longest time. My mother, maybe by the time we are still recording this,
Yeah.
she's still not yet fully separated from my father. I'm hoping that will happen in this lifetime because that man is a psychopath.
They're still together.
Somehow they're still together somehow because he's in Shags now and she's in this side, but then Boma bado ni moja, so
Yeah.
if she has to go to Shags she goes
Anaenda
there.
kwake.
Yes, and it's just horrendous, man. So me, I don't go there to Shags. I said I'm not going to be associated with violence.
Yeah.
That's just me. If
Yeah.
I'm going to be disowned, so be it.
It's okay.
I live out here. I have friends. They'll take care of me.
Yeah.
And even if I will be homeless,
Yeah.
I have peace of mind.
Exactly.
That is bigger than everything.
That is the true freedom. Yeah. Wow. 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 So, tumekunywa maji. We are back. And I'm just here nikisema tu Rix is opening my mind, and I love that. It's like you're making love to my mind.
That's nice.
Yeah. So let's continue. Can you share any experience that have shaped your views on reproductive health?
Many. One of them is one day I had a girl over in my house, 2016, and we were meeting for sex. Okay, her periods happened to come at midnight. Okay, that's the time I learned that we have regular periods and irregular periods.
Yes.
Many of us guys just think a period is like salary. It comes,
Yeah.
every woman's period comes at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
And apparently there are irregular periods
Yes.
that are caused by many different things because women's bodies are just women's bodies.
Yeah.
And so she wasn't prepared. It just happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't have pads in the house. And she didn't have pads either. And then I also realized that, so because of the shame and stigma around this conversation,
Yeah.
when a woman finds her, like, blood just comes out and she wasn't prepared, she shrinks.
Yeah.
She shrinks, and then now she feels now like she's doing something wrong, and because the blood is on the sheets and whatnot, and she feels like this is bad, this is very bad, you know.
Yes, and the fact that you are meeting for sex,
Yes,
you could be used to that against her.
yes, you know, like
Like-
all that fear.
Yeah.
Now, Mimi, I'm just like, it's life. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
An earthquake could have happened, for God's sake, and we would have died.
Yeah.
I didn't have control over that.
Exactly.
Neither did you have control over this.
Yeah.
So got to learn that sometimes periods can also come earlier when you're stressed.
Yeah.
Or you're sick, or you're going through things. You
Or
know?
you're anxious.
Or you're
or-
anxious, yeah. Periods can come.
Change
And
of
sometimes even
weather.
sex can make periods come earlier.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many things.
Yes.
So I had to leave my house at midnight to go look for a shop that sold pads. And that was the first time in my life I was buying pads. I
How
was
old were you?
28 years old. I was 28 years old. Okay?
And that was not the first girlfriend.
It wasn't the first guy. So I'm getting to this shop and I'm asking for a pad, and this shopkeeper is like looking at me and wondering, what is this man buying at midnight? Akaifunganya kwa hiyo gazeti
Kafunga hadi kwa
nini.
gazeti.
Na ni saa sita usiku,
Yeah.
hakuna mtu hata ataona.
Eh.
Let me walk back to the house, you know. So there are many conversations there. So
Yeah.
there are women who are comfortable with having sex even during their periods,
Yeah.
and there are women who feel dirty and they feel bad and
Yeah.
they feel like, sex is not the thing they want to have at that time.
Yeah.
And some of it is personal, and some of it is as a result of socialization that, sex during periods is dirty. Some people really believe that.
Yeah.
And that made me, I started storing pads in my house since that time. Yeah, so anytime Mimi, whether I'm dating or not dating, because I still have sex even when I'm not dating.
Yeah.
I always have pads in my house.
Yeah.
Just for any kind of eventuality.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it could be your lady friends coming, sometimes it could be your sister coming home.
Yeah. And
this shit happens. So nimewekanga tu in my toilet, put it there. There's also something I got from, there's like a bag that stores the pads after it's being used. It's called Femi bag or something. I can't remember. Yeah. Just disposal, hygiene, nini.
Yes.
And I'm never really scared to talk about these things because they're as natural as your eyes. They're just natural things, like the way tea could magika in a house, so a glass of they're just things. So for me, that's one experience that changed how I perceive reproductive health.
Yeah.
And I realized, by the way, I need to get more engaged in just supporting, because me as a guy, never in my life will I feel the kind of discomfort a woman has to endure during her menses. I will never know what that thing is. Never in my life.
You will never
I will never. I can't even imagine it. All I can see is just empathize. That's the much I can do. And so because I have that's a privilege. I can see that I have a privilege in those instances in the sense that I won't feel that pain ever in my life. And it's not small pain, it's a lot of pain from what I see. It's a lot of pain. Why can't I be supportive to this other person, this other human being, regardless of how I'm related to them? Whether they are my mother, whether they're my sister, whether we are just having sex, whether this is my girlfriend, my wife. Why can't I be supportive? To create a conducive environment where even if they are going through this thing, they feel seen. They don't have to be uncomfortable. Because now for me, I have a towel at home. If somebody is down for having sex during her periods and she feels afraid, I will soil your sheets and whatever, I have a towel for that. And that towel, I wash it myself.
I like this man already.
I wash because I don't like the woman feeling I'm a burden. There's blood everywhere. Blood is just natural. It's just like every other thing. And this is just a cycle you're going through. There's nothing bad about it.
Wow.
So I make sure I'm the one. I will soak that towel. I will wash that towel. If something happens to the sheets, because sex can take you anywhere, I will wash those sheets. I don't like the woman feeling like, I'm a burden. This is my responsibility. I have to take it up. No, it's just life.
Imagine just doing that changes everything. It changes everything because I'm imagining. I'm here now thinking. I've told you my mind is.
Lots of things are happening.
Yeah. So the first period, I can imagine how bad it is.
On the first day.
Yes.
Yes. It's heavy. Most
you
times.
are the stigma surrounded having periods as a girl. You are just a teenager who is maybe 14 or 15. Your period just started. Maybe you don't even know how to use a pad.
You really don't know. Yes, nobody told you.
Because nobody told you. Because there's still that stigma, even with your parents.
Yeah, even your mother, the women around you. Yeah. The ones who are supposed to show you.
And then finding someone who is supporting you in that journey is the best thing that can ever happen to a girl or to a woman.
Yes, and for me, I want everybody to care, so that it's not an exception. I don't want it to be an exception. I don't want people to look at me and say, "Hey, what a man!" No, these are normal things.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like drinking water. It's normal. It shouldn't be an exception. It's not an exception.
The women have a lot of work.
There's so much. Even women have a lot of work there because I remember 2 years ago, I posted a picture. I don't know if you saw it, but I posted a picture of the pads that I have in the house. and I put it on Twitter.
I follow you.
And on Facebook and all these places.
Yeah.
And it created a whole uproar, about why does this man have pads in his house? He must be a whore.
Where would someone conclude that?
Because it's not taken that a man can be that caring. Why are you caring? How are you caring? So the women were saying, I'm not comfortable with my man having pads in his house. And the men are like, oh, you must be just looking for pussy for you to be posting such a picture.
And you care so much to keep pads in your house. If it was just pussy wanted, why would you be having the pads in your house?
People don't see it like that. So and for me, it's about how this conversation, how we think about this conversation.
Yeah.
Because in an ideal world, this would be nothing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be nothing.
True.
True. Periods and menstrual hygiene, menstrual health is not supposed to create such a big conversation.
Yeah.
But again, because as a guy, I'm very removed from women's realities, and women also because there's a ideal world. This is not supposed to be controversial. Actually, that's the word I'm looking for. It's not supposed to be controversial because these are normal things. But then because we are afraid of it, that's why I go there. As an artist, as a creative, as an activist, I want to go to those places where my culture is uncomfortable with, because that's where our freedom is at. That's where we can exercise true love by going to those uncomfortable places. Outside that, everything else is a facade. We can't love each other if we don't understand what's really going on inside.
You've said that.
It's impossible.
Yeah, we need to understand.
I can't see how somebody can claim to love you and they don't understand what you're going through as a person.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
It's very impossible.
We can talk all day. Oh, we have so much to say.
I know. We have a lot of work to do. We do have a lot of work to do. And when you come out of that, how can I call it, slavery? Can I call it that way? You come to a point where you have achieved or attained true freedom, where you're living freely, you are living without questioning how other people say about you, how they see you, how they perceive you, how they tell you to do things.
I'll tell you what, when my mother discovered that I have pierced my ears, can you see how beautiful these earrings are? Yes. Well, actually, I stole them from a woman. I was like, on your chair, they just look so good.
You pierced one? Two of them.
They look so handsome in
you
them.
do.
Like, look at me.
Yes.
You see? And it's something that I was one day I just decided, I want to do this.
How did she know you pierced?
Because she saw them in a dance video. Hey, she was no. I was in a lingerie actually. I wore a woman's lingerie and I danced. Hey, she almost died. What?
Kidding.
I was stressed, my mom. Hata nikikuonyesha zile messages alinitumia. I've stressed my mother. I've just stressed her.
I've never come across that video.
I'll show you.
Maybe it was before I started.
No, it's recent. It's very recent. There's a lady who came to my house and then she left her lingerie in the house. And then, so what happened is, there was a day I was on KTN. And,
I remember, I even watched you.
Yes, and that's recent.
Yeah, very recent.
So the dance video was after that. Because my mother came at me and she was like, people have sent me this link. Why do you always talk about this thing, the violence at home and everything? I don't like it. Even me, I was hurt, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And me, I don't like being controlled.
Yeah.
I don't like being controlled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is also my life. You have chosen silence over it. I respect your silence. Me, I won't keep silent about it. I was in that house and the things I saw in that house, some of them I've even never said them in public.
Yeah.
Even like it was a lot.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So even what I shared wasn't that much. It was just the stuff that I've been repeating over these years.
Yeah.
Then me, I was like, okay, this one has angered you. I will do more. So I said, okay, by the way, I've been looking forward to dance in this lingerie, and let me do it today.
I don't know.
Hey. nikavaa hiyo kitu, nikaweka mziki hapo, seti iko unacheza na mimi. When you meet me, you can't know I can do those things, but I'm a madman in a very calm person's body. I'm a madman.
Yeah.
And so now I had worn my earrings. So now people now this was just after 5 days of what she saw on KTN. She was angry. So what welcome to me is a screenshot. Apparently some friends of hers follow me somehow. So they sent her the screenshot. So look at your child, blah blah blah, whatever. So that's the first time she saw earrings. So on top, first of all, I'm dancing in lingerie, and then I have earrings. She was like, "You want to be a woman? You pierced your ears. What happened to the God you used to serve?" I cannot accept this life. I have so much shame. People keep telling me to look at your child. I didn't even answer. I was like, even I will inject and inject and inject. Me, I'm happy.
Yeah.
One time I asked her, like, you're not happy that your child is happy? As in, me, I'm happy. Me, I'm living my life. You guys are worried about me, that maybe something is wrong with my head, that I'm gay, sijui nini.
Yeah.
If you knew how much I love women, God.
we know. We do not have a doubt. Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be.
There are people out there who are very convinced that I'm gay, and anybody would like me. That's for sure. Like I'm very likable. I know I'm aware of that. You know,
are.
but I also have my own boundaries, and I tell people that I've been through the trenches. Like. I didn't just become this person. Yeah. I've gone through a lot. And, you know, I've been suicidal, I've run away from home, I've been a street boy. Yeah. I have felt worthless, I've felt ugly, I've felt unworthy. Like,
I've been sad several times.
And I'm still sad. There are things that still make me sad to this day. There is grief that has refused to go.
Never goes.
Yes, and I had to decide, am I going to let this grief engulf me, or am I going to learn to live with it? You know, there are so many things I have the right to be sad about. So many things. But then I'm like, my life is beyond all that pain. I'm not just going to be associated with pain. So even when I'm doing those silly things, and I wrote about it recently. Like when you see me do these silly things, I'm reclaiming myself. You know, because I'm a very cheeky, bubbly person. You know, ever since I was a child, I was a bubbly kid, playful person. And for me, life is just about play. If you take out play out of life, we are all dead. And many people have believed they can live without play. So they're all serious and you're a wife now, your husband is supposed to be very serious. Yeah, more that doesn't make sense. And I'm just like
to throw a go there.
For what? Seriousness for what? Where are you taking your seriousness?
I don't know whether it is yesterday's post where you talked about to get married and grow old with someone, yet we are supposed to be a child with them.
Yeah, that's Charles Bukowski's quote actually. Yeah, but it's not yesterday, but I remember sharing that. I've shared that a couple of times. Like, we think we want to grow old with somebody, but then what we really want is or are supposed to be having is to just remain a child with somebody. Yeah. That's the best thing ever. It's the best thing because you know your body is growing old for sure because you're here, but then if also your spirit grows old,
you're doomed.
You're actually dead before you're actually dead.
Yeah.
And I see no use in that. It doesn't. I don't see it. I don't see how useful it is to make myself old inside.
What is the point? Yeah. Wow.
Jacqueline is just smiling.
I'm so happy. Like it has been long since I had a conversation with someone who like is making my mind. You're making my mind grow. You're opening my mind. I'm resonating with everything you're saying. I'm like, are there still people who think like this?
Yes, there are there. There are there in plenty.
Wow.
Yeah, we just don't meet them. And you see, our society is, there is so much noise happening around.
Yeah.
so much noise.
Yeah.
There could be so many men like me, but they're in Nakuru, they're in Karachuonyo, they're in all those places. They are not on social media.
Yeah.
They don't care for followers, what.
Yeah.
They're out there. They're just quiet men. They are farmers. They are engineers. They are electricians.
Doing their own.
Just everyday people
Yeah.
who have no use in trying to make a woman feel like, oh, they are bigger than them,
Yeah.
ego, whatever.
Yeah.
Those men are there.
Yeah.
All my life, actually, my male friends have been very kind people. They've been very gentle people.
Yeah.
And so that's why I refuse to accept that men are inherently violent.
Yeah.
It is learned. It
Yeah.
is taught.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I've had friends, even today, that are just male friends that are just good, great folks. They don't like fighting.
Yeah.
They don't shout to anybody.
Yeah.
They're just chill men.
Yeah.
And they are my friends. So that's a reality I have seen.
Yeah.
So that means I don't have to be all that macho and dominating and whatever.
Yeah.
Those guys are there. And I'm a living testimony that they can even be your friends. So
Yeah.
yes. Wako sana.
Sure. Wow. So I think now we can do a way forward. What changes would you like to see in the conversation around women's reproductive health?
Policies, but beyond policies, it's attitudes. The attitudes, because sometimes even like for example Kenya, we say we have the best papers, but then implementation is zero.
Yeah.
Because of the cultural attitudes we have about these issues.
Yeah.
There is no way you can tell me women are here and they are half the population of the world, not
Yes.
just Kenya, of
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
And we are not putting in place systems to make family planning available, easily available. We are not making contraceptives easily available.
Yeah.
We are not doing sex education. We are
Yes.
not teaching people about reproductive and menstrual health and hygiene.
Yeah.
We are not putting structures in place where if you have a problem, you can just make a phone call and it is cheap for you, not expensive,
Yeah.
cheap for you. Even when you want to procure an abortion,
Yeah.
because there are many instances where somebody finds themselves with pregnant and they
Yeah.
don't want to have a child.
Yeah.
It's not just when you're having sex with somebody.
Yeah.
People get raped. People get raped by their fathers. People
Yeah.
get raped by their stepfathers. People
Yeah.
get raped by their husbands. People get raped by all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And they don't want to keep those kids.
Yeah.
But then your law is telling you, you must have this baby.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. You wouldn't even know this.
Yeah.
Most women
Yeah.
who terminate pregnancies in Kenya are married. They are married women.
Wow.
Yes, that is so powerful. Like most women who are procuring abortions in Kenya
They are
are
married.
married.
How is that possible?
Because men, there was a campaign, so it's Sexual and Reproductive Health SRHR campaign that I did in 2018 in 6 African countries.
Yeah.
And it opened my mind. These things that are happening in your head right
Yeah.
now, that's what happened to me that time when I was doing research about it.
Yeah.
And you're hearing there's a woman who has 11 children because the man has refused her to use contraceptives.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
So when she realizes she's pregnant, she goes and has an abortion.
And actually, to add on that, she has 11 children, no family planning, and the man is abusing her.
Yes, on top of all that. See? Man, that thing radicalizes you. I'm just like, why is this happening to people? And tuna chill too.
I know.
Life is just going on.
Yeah, like nothing has
fam.
happened.
No. These children are left, they are abandoned.
Yeah.
They are not taken care of emotionally.
Yeah.
The quality of schooling is poor.
Yeah.
Quality of parenting is poor. Then they turn out also abusive because their parents were abusive. What is all that mess about? What is all that mess?
It's never worth it.
So there are a lot of married women,
Yeah.
even in this city,
Yeah. Procuring.
curing termination of pregnancies.
Yeah.
we have to really outgrow the attitudes we've had about women's bodies, so that we can put in place all the proper structures that will support their well-being, especially in regards to their bodies, because their bodies affect their mental health. And even according to the World Health Organization, women attempt more suicides, but then men just have a higher success rate. But women attempt more because they really go through so much. So attitudes. So those attitudes should, the change of attitude should also change in policy, so that clinics are more available, accessibility to pre and post abortion care is available, accessibility to family planning, accessibility to information. You realize that there are so many women who don't have information about reproductive health.
So many,
and even men as well. All sorts of people. That's an area of life that it astounds me. Why it is so controlled, Even here recently in Kenya, we have had groups that lobby for sex education in school, but the church does not want that to happen.
I wonder.
And those guys are the guys raping boys in those churches. And eating, and pastors eating people's wives when you are made up bombeo. So much hypocrisy, man. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. And we are just getting to a point, because right now there are so, like, the levels of teenage pregnancy is just something else. But we still want to pretend there's no problem around this area of sex. We want to pretend there's no problem.
Teenage pregnancy equal. I have been working in an hospital for the longest time. And when you go to antenatal clinic, the people who are coming for the clinic,
Kids.
even 13, 14, there was a day I was traumatized, literally. I was like, God, what is happening? I could see like 20 women for the clinic and see visits, and only 1 or 2, they are 30 or 32. Others are 17, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Where was that hospital?
In the Goreti.
That's Nairobi.
Yes, that's Nairobi. Those are statistics that are put in books. Niambie wale wako ushago.
It's bad. It's bad. See? So we have to change our attitude around these issues. We have to change, and we also have to make abusers accountable. Because if the laws are not going after these people, more women are continuing to get abused. See? And that goes along as well with sexual violence against men. Recently you heard of this guy in Mombasa who was abused by the politics that was going on around there. And the people in Mombasa are saying that is normal when a politician wants to punish somebody. That is normal. That happens when they want to punish you.
Kwani naishi nchi ingine? Kwani niko nchi ingine?
Vitu zinafanyika kwa hii dunia, my friend. We have to change our attitude. So for me, in fact, if it's the only thing I would say, it's that change of attitudes that would inform change of policy.
Wow. And how can communities better support women in making those informed decisions about their reproduction?
So information is very important. I say there's a saying that goes, information is power. And now I usually try to extend it by saying power is only power when you decide to use it, put it in motion. Because it is power. Yes, you're informed, but what are you doing with the information?
Exactly.
So power is what you do in practice. See, make it move. So I will say, oh, I will go buy a condom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I will use an IUD
Yeah.
to prevent pregnancy for myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not ready to have this baby right now.
Yeah.
Or I don't want this baby because of the circumstances in which I got this baby.
Yeah.
I will terminate this pregnancy.
Yeah.
So, if that information is available and we open those safe spaces for people who are in these situations,
Yeah.
then women can feel supported.
Yeah.
Men being educated is also another thing. We have to know what's going on with our partner.
Yeah.
We have to know. You can't tell me unakaanga tu ati hizo ni za wanawake.
Wanasemanga achana mambo ya wanawake.
Hey.
Mambo
ya wanawake inakuaffect kama mwanaume. Kila siku kwa maisha yako inakuaffect. Kila siku kwa maisha yako. Because if this woman is not okay and they are a wife and the mother of your children, it will affect her parenting. It will affect her partnership to you. It will affect how she shows up in the world. You have to care about those things. If you claim to love this person, it is that simple. Imagine, hata hakuna vitu mingi, hakuna siasa mingi. It is just that simple. You have to care. So, and so we are not very many men in that space who are advocating or engaging with men to teach them about these things, let them know about these things.
Yeah.
Because even when I sit with men, you can clearly see they don't have information. They have no clue what's really going on. Even the nice guys, like they really have no clue. Na si ati ni kupenda kwao. Already there was the socialization that isn't visa wanawake, so you stay away from them subconsciously. You see? So what I try to do is to inform and educate men about these things so that the good ones at least who are willing to learn can catch a thing or two. Because that's how you just spark change, you know? We can't wait on women to do everything for us. We have to have male champions who are putting in the work to make other men see this is the way to go. Because at the end of the day, we are all benefited from women's well-being. If a woman is okay in your house, in your environment, a good chunk of the possibility is that even you're going to be fine. If you're working for her liberation, she's going to work for your liberation. Like you're going to be helping each other.
Why do I feel like I should be saying amen?
Amen is not even a religious word. It's just a word. It means let it be. That's all.
You're oozing sense.
Me, I won't even lie to you. Women have taught me so much. Women have cared for me, and I just ask myself, like, if this person shows me all this care, why can't I just reciprocate? There's nothing I'm losing. In fact, I benefit more because I am healthier, I am happier, I am more secure as a person, and in the grand scheme of things, my life is okay. Really, my life is okay. So why would I want to be around men who they are just violent people? They want to drink all the time and beat down on people and see what they can steal and go and dominate other places for the sake of, I don't even understand what. I don't see no life in that. I am not attracted to it, and
it's not cool.
It's not cool at all. So even with my male friends, like, we have genuine, like, real conversations. When we're having time, there is a lot of respect around each other. There's a lot of love around each other. And like I said before, I've always had those men around me, even as kids, like when we were boys, like men around me, boys and men around me have been gentle, they've been kind. And of course, you get a few crazy people here and there because of people are different. But then there at the center, we have to educate men, because even as we are empowering women, men too have to be educated. And there was a tagline around SDGs, I think 3 years ago, that was saying leave no one behind. Leave no one behind. And for me, it's not just about women, and neither is it just about men. It's also about queer people who have been incredibly sidelined in this society and in the world at large. it's also about children.
Yes.
Children are the most vulnerable, neglected, abandoned,
And the most abused.
the most abused.
Yeah.
And then we stand up and say, oh, we are a nation of family values. Which family values, Jacqueline? Which family values? Which family values? Hakuna. Pretenders. We are just very good pretenders.
Yeah.
We don't know how to love children.
Yeah.
We beat children to a pulp just because they are not the people we want them to be.
And they're just children.
They just got here.
They just got here. They've just arrived.
They just arrived. You don't know anything. You, if I take you to Lodwar right now, I can't expect you to know everything everywhere and how things are.
Yeah.
You just got there. You don't know nothing about that place. But here we are.
Here we are.
See? So yes, so encompassing for me actually, we have to care about everybody. We have to care about everybody who is here. And there are enough resources.
Yeah.
Let nobody lie to you at yo hakuna pesa ya hii ama hii ama hii. There are enough resources to accommodate and provide for everyone.
Yeah.
In fact, if governments were working the way they ought to be working, this thing about, oh, you're looking for a provider would end as a woman. This thing about, oh, I'm looking for a man, a woman who's this way, that way, it would end. Because everything is there. And it's supposed to be there. The earth has provided. It is here.
Yeah, with us.
Everything is here. All that abundance is taken away from us through greed.
Yeah.
Once we remove greed and we go back to Ubuntu, where you're sharing resources because resources are there to be shared. It's not just you as holding. We don't need billionaires anywhere on this earth. We don't need millionaires. You can't own anything. Where are you taking it?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
You're going to own an island, and then where are you taking it? There is so, even as we are 8 billion, 9 billion people on this earth. There is so much space on this earth for everyone and some more.
Yeah.
So much food for everybody and some more. So much sex for everybody. You don't have to snatch it from anyone. You don't need to abuse anybody.
Yeah.
Like if you're
to have it.
Yes. There is so much. Like
people don't know that. They just don't know that.
That's my pattern.
So how would you advise a younger woman, sex and reproductive health?
Liberate yourself from what Bob Marley said, mental slavery, but how it looks like is, look at the systems around you and how they have shaped how you think.
Yeah.
You're living in many times when people say our society, I usually say society is shaped by the people in power in that society.
Yeah.
In many of our cultures, it's men who are in power.
Yeah.
So when we are saying society, we are actually saying patriarchal culture.
Yes.
Right? When we say our society is this way and that way, we are saying patriarchal culture is this way and that way, because it's the men who are dictating how society operates. Right? So you have to question how patriarchal culture has informed your identity as a woman. How is informed my identity as a man?
Yeah.
So how am I perceiving men out of the way patriarchal culture has taught me? I view men as, oh, they're supposed to know, they're supposed to be leaders, they're supposed to be providers, they're supposed to be priests, they're supposed to be all that stuff. And I keep asking people, you want to tell me no woman in the history of Christianity is worth being a pope?
By the way,
no woman is worth being the president, let's say, of the United States of America, the so-called free world. No woman can be the head of a home, which they already are anyway, because these niggas are just absent in these homes.
Sure.
Make it make sense. So if that's how you've been socialized to look at men, you have to ask yourself if that is true of nature, right? And likewise for men, and likewise for queer people. And we have to interrogate how we think of the idea about children. Now, even as a woman, must you have kids? Must you have kids? Because back in the day, if you didn't have a child, you were frowned upon. Even if it's your husband that couldn't
give nini semen for you to bear children. It was the woman.
The woman all the time.
You see?
Yeah.
Must you have children? Do you really want to have a child because you want a child, or is it because it is
what you are taught
exactly
you're supposed to do?
Hey, see?
Wow.
So that's for women, you know, like you have to keep questioning those things.
Yeah.
Because you will never have a good shot at life if you want to play small.
Yeah.
And you will make many people uncomfortable. People will look at you and they feel like,
I've been asked those questions several times.
Na mimi nasemanga sumbua watu mpaka wakuacha. Mimi wazazi wangu wameniacha. Walichoka.
They've left you alone.
Leave that one alone.
Yeah.
My friends, all those people in church who when I used to be there, they left me.
And you know what happens? When they realize that you are not changing anytime soon, they join
but
you.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
If people realize they can't control you, now they live with you. They learn to live with you.
Yeah.
And that's what life is supposed to be. So, if you don't fight for yourself, Jacqueline,
I know.
Utakanyagwa.
Me nimekanyagwa. Hadi now I know how to fight for myself. I know. If it is bad, it is bad. Yeah. Wow, so that was it. That was so eye-opening, mind-boggling. Thank you so much for honoring this invite.
She has really nice nails. She hasn't shown you her nails. They're really nice.
Thank you so much.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
1 year was worth waiting, right?
1 year was worth waiting. 1 year
I was getting wiser for you.
I'm telling you, it was. Even me, I've grown.
That's nice.
So much. So make sure you subscribe, share with your friends, and see you on the next one. Bye.